She's not texting. She's not calling. So you start thinking she doesn't care. But here's the truth. That silence isn't strength. It's strategy. And if you react wrong, she wins. Comment, "I'm rebuilding," if you're on this journey. Subscribe to the channel so we can keep giving men the truth. No one else will. Number 1. Why silence hits hard. She disappears, not with closure, not with explanation, but with carefully calculated indifference. And you're left in the ruins of a bond you thought was mutual, scanning every memory for a sign, a hint, a red flag you missed. You gave your all. You built with her. You showed her parts of yourself no one else gets to see. And now, just like that, she's gone. Not physically, but emotionally. Her presence lingers, yet her connection is severed, and that contradiction is the hardest part. She's out smiling for pictures, dancing with friends, laughing in ways that seem louder than they used to be. Her life looks full while yours feels like it's caving in. That's what cuts the deepest. Not just the loss, but the performance. And what makes it worse is that you can't even hate her for it. Because hating her would be admitting that you still care. And you've been told that caring makes you weak. But it doesn't. It makes you human. Still, the world doesn't reward your vulnerability. It exploits it. And if you don't learn how to transmute that pain into purpose, you'll get stuck in a loop that only she benefits from. See, modern relationships have made men disposable. You're expected to carry the emotional labor, but the moment you express need, you're labeled needy. You're told to communicate, but punished when your truth is inconvenient. You're encouraged to lead, but criticized the moment your leadership makes her uncomfortable. And when she detaches, it's never framed as her failing. It's always something you lacked. You didn't listen enough. You weren't ambitious enough. You weren't emotional, yet you were too emotional. The contradictions aren't accidental. They're designed to keep you questioning yourself while she recalibrates her options. So when she goes silent, it's not confusion, it's control. She's betting on the fact that you'll self-destruct in the echo of her absence. And in that destruction, you'll reach out, you'll plead, you'll chase. Not because you're weak, but because no one taught you how to stay strong in the face of manipulation, disguised as detachment. No one gave you a blueprint for emotional discipline. That's what Stoicism is. It's not about being emotionless. It's about feeling everything deeply, yet acting only on what builds you, not what breaks you. And when you learn that, her silence becomes irrelevant. You stop watching her stories. You stop checking who liked her posts. You stop wondering if the new guy she's posting is just a rebound or someone she always had waiting. You stop because your focus shifts, not out of arrogance, but out of necessity. You realize the most dangerous thing you can do is give your energy to someone who feeds off your confusion. And so, you return that energy to yourself. You don't sit in pain, you sit with it, examine it, learn from it. You let it guide your next step, not dictate your next mistake. That's how you take your power back. You don't wait for closure. You close the door yourself. You write down everything you learned, everything you tolerated, everything you ignored, and you build a man who never lets that happen again. That's not revenge. That's restoration. And it starts with acknowledging that her silence isn't proof of strength. It's proof of emotional immaturity. Because adults have conversations. Adults express their needs. Adults don't disappear when things get uncomfortable. They dig deeper. And when she doesn't, when she chooses avoidance over accountability, that's not your loss. That's your liberation. You don't chase someone who teaches you that love is conditional. You learn from it, and you evolve. You become someone who doesn't fear detachment, because you've built a life so full, so complete, that anyone who walks away ends up feeling the loss more than you do. That's not ego. That's earned confidence. That's what being centered feels like. And if you're still wondering how to begin, start small. Create a morning routine that's non-negotiable. Move your body every day, even when you don't feel like it. Write down what you're grateful for, even if it feels fake at first. Speak to yourself like someone you're responsible for, and surround yourself with standards so high that her silence feels like background noise, not a personal indictment. Because once you step into that version of yourself, no woman's absence will ever shake you again. You'll see it for what it is, a detour, not a dead end. And you'll keep walking, forward, focused, free. And as you walk into this new version of yourself, where your peace is no longer up for debate, where your focus can't be shaken by silence, you'll need guidance, not from the world that told you to chase her, but from a foundation built on eternal truth. That's why I created the Stoic relationship. Blueprint, a powerful resource filled with timeless principles that rewire how you view connection, detachment, discipline, and value as a man. This isn't just a book, it's your code. And now, it's finally available in audiobook format, so you can listen to this life-altering knowledge while walking, jogging, driving, or simply resetting your mind. This audiobook is yours forever, your personal weapon against every pattern that held you back. Click the link in the comments, claim it, and step into the clarity you've always needed. Not tomorrow, but today. Number 2. What she's really thinking. She's not ignoring you because she's at peace. She's ignoring you because acknowledging the damage she caused would force her to confront a truth she's not ready for. That maybe she left a man who would have done anything for her. That maybe she threw away loyalty for excitement. That maybe she mistook your stability for stagnation, not realizing until it was too late that the chaos she ran to doesn't have your consistency, your patience, or your depth. But she'll never admit that, not even to herself, because admitting it would mean facing the reality that she sabotaged something real. So she rewrites the story. She becomes the victim in her own narrative. She tells herself you were too much or not enough, or that you changed, even though what really changed was her appreciation. That's why she acts unaffected, because if she looked affected, it would expose the truth, that she's scared, confused, and deeply insecure. So she posts, she travels, she laughs with people who don't know the full story. And the worst part? You see it. You see every image, every caption, every "I'm doing great" smile that doesn't reach her eyes, and it messes with you, because part of you still wants to believe she cared, that it wasn't all a lie, that the connection you felt wasn't one-sided, and it wasn't. But feelings don't always equal maturity. And just because she felt something doesn't mean she had the tools to nurture it. That's the part they don't tell you. That love isn't enough. That people can care about you and still hurt you. That someone can miss you and still not be healthy for you. And when you begin to understand that, everything changes. You stop assigning meaning to her actions. You stop waiting for her to validate your experience. You stop expecting her to circle back and own her side. Because you realize that healing doesn't require her apology. It requires your awareness. It requires you to see her silence not as a mystery, but as a message that she's not ready. Not ready for accountability. Not ready for consistency. Not ready for you. And that's not your burden to carry. Your only job is to protect your peace. To stay grounded in your values, even when she abandons hers. To recognize that just because someone gave up on you doesn't mean you give up on yourself. Because here's the hard truth. If she truly saw your value, she wouldn't have risked losing it. If she really wanted to keep you, she would have done the work. She would have fought, not fled. And if she didn't, if she vanished, ghosted, or pretended it never mattered, then that tells you everything you need to know. You were not wrong. You were not too much. You were just too real for someone who wasn't ready to meet you there. And instead of shrinking, instead of questioning your worth, you elevate, you learn, you detach, not out of anger, but out of clarity. You stop thinking about what you lost and start focusing on what you're building. A new version of you, wiser, stronger, sharper. A version that doesn't beg for love, but commands respect. That doesn't settle for attention, but seeks alignment. That doesn't get pulled back into emotional games, because he's too focused on his mission to get distracted by temporary emotions. And if you're wondering where to start, it's this. Write down the man you want to become. Get specific. What does he look like? What does he tolerate? What does his day look like? Then reverse engineer it. Build habits that reflect that identity. Protect your time. Cut off access to people who drain you. Prioritize your goals over your impulses. And when she checks your page weeks or months from now, she won't find a man waiting. She'll find a man risen, not bitter, but better, not empty, but elevated. And by then, it won't matter what she's thinking, because you'll be too far gone to care, too built to break, too focused to fall back. And that's when the power shifts. Not because you forced it, but because you finally remembered who you are. And once a man remembers that, he never forgets again. Number 3. The fake calm cracks. She's putting on a show, and the whole world is her stage. But you're the only one who truly knows the scenes that came before this act. What she's doing now is not moving on. It's proving a point, but not to you, to herself. She needs the world to believe she's unbothered, to believe she's thriving without you, because if they believe it, maybe she can believe it too. She's curating her life like a highlight reel, full of smiles that fade as soon as the camera's off, captions she doesn't even believe in, photos with people who don't even matter, all designed to send a message that she's fine. But real peace doesn't need marketing. Real peace doesn't crave witnesses. And the louder someone has to scream about how unbothered they are, the more you know they're lying through their teeth. But this isn't about exposing her. It's about exposing the illusion. Because the longer you stay quiet, the longer you stay focused, the longer you let your discipline speak for you, the louder your absence becomes. And here's where it shifts. The calm she's projecting begins to fracture. Slowly. At first it's subtle. She posts more frequently. She checks your page more than she admits. She tries to get your attention in indirect ways, maybe even through mutuals, or by showing up in places she knows you'll see her. Not because she misses you, but because she misses how it felt to be wanted by someone who never wavered. And now that energy is gone. You're not texting anymore. You're not reacting. You're not in her comments. You've become unpredictable. And unpredictability is uncomfortable for someone who relied on control. That's when the cracks begin to show. She starts second-guessing herself. Was she wrong? Did she move too fast? Did she misread your silence as weakness when it was actually strength? And that confusion eats at her, because she expected you to fold. She expected you to reach out, to explain yourself, to fight for a connection she stopped respecting. But you didn't. You walked away, not loud, not angry, but intentional. You chose yourself in a world that trained you to chase validation. And that choice, it disrupts her entire plan. Because now she's left performing with no audience. She's left looking over her shoulder, wondering if you even still care. And when you don't, when your life becomes a reflection of everything she couldn't appreciate, that's when her silence stops being power and starts being punishment, but self-inflicted. And yet, even then, she won't show it. She'll double down. More parties, more posts, more people, all temporary, all distractions. Because the truth is, she's not over you. She's not even over who she was when she was with you. Because you brought out a version of her she didn't know how to protect, a softness she confused for weakness, a loyalty she mistook for routine. And now she's chasing chaos to numb the regret. But here's the critical part for you. You cannot intervene. You cannot try to help her through a process she chose, because the moment you insert yourself, you rob her of the very lesson life is trying to teach her. That indifference is not strength, and distance does not always lead to desire. Sometimes it leads to disconnection. Sometimes it leads to a man who finally sees the pattern and decides never to repeat it. That's your role now, to recognize the pattern and rise above it. To understand that her fake calm is not your responsibility to decode. It's your signal to detach. And if she returns, if she texts you months from now acting like nothing happened, trying to test the waters, trying to revive what she once drowned, you don't fall for the familiarity. You remember the silence, you remember the show, and you remember how much peace you built when she wasn't there to disrupt it. That's Stoic discipline, not reacting to emotional bait, choosing the higher road, not because you're scared to love, but because you've learned to love with standards, because you've built a foundation in yourself that doesn't get shaken by delayed regret. You've built a new life, one where your attention is earned, not given out of habit. And if she couldn't value it then, she doesn't deserve it now. So when the fake calm finally crumbles, when she can no longer keep up the illusion, and the reality of her decisions begins to set in, you won't be there. Not out of spite, but out of principle. Because healing taught you the difference between attachment and alignment. It taught you that not everyone who wants you deserves you. And most importantly, it taught you that the version of you who used to settle for breadcrumbs has been replaced by a man who bakes his own bread. Daily, you no longer beg for understanding. You no longer chase people who confuse distance with desire. You no longer explain your silence because your life now speaks for itself. And her regret? That's her burden, not yours. Your job is to keep building, keep growing, keep becoming the man that silence tried to break, but only sharpened. Because if silence reveals character, yours has revealed strength, and nothing, not even her loudest performance, can shake that. Number 4, don't chase. Chasing her after she walks away is like trying to fix a broken lock with the wrong key. No matter how much effort you put in, it's never going to open the same door again. You think that if you explain yourself better, if you remind her of the memories, if you send that one perfect message that cuts through the noise, maybe, just maybe, she'll come back. But she won't. Because she doesn't respect the man who chases. She respects the man who walks away with silence and never looks back. That's the truth nobody tells you. The harder you chase, the smaller you become in her eyes. She doesn't see your effort as proof of love. She sees it as proof of desperation. And desperation is unattractive to a woman who already chose to leave. You need to understand this. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You're not giving up. You're preserving what's left of your dignity before she burns it too. Most men don't know how to stop chasing because they've built their identity around being chosen. You were told that to love someone is to fight for them. But real love, mature love, doesn't need to be chased. It meets you halfway. It stays when it matters. So when she pulls back, when she disappears, when she pretends you don't matter, the last thing you do is run after her. You think you're fixing it, but what you're actually doing is feeding her ego. She gets to have all the power, all the attention, all the validation, while you get nothing in return. That's not love. That's emotional servitude. That's you sacrificing your peace for the illusion of connection. And the worst part, even if she does come back, it won't be because she respects you. It'll be because she knows you'll always be there. You become a placeholder, not a partner. She'll breadcrumb you with just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to feel fulfilled. And that cycle, it drains you. It makes you forget who you are. You stop focusing on your goals. You stop growing. You start reacting. You become a shadow of the man you used to be. all because you believed that chasing her was love. But real love doesn't cost your self-respect. Real connection doesn't demand your dignity. When she walks away, that's your cue to walk toward yourself. Rebuild everything that chasing her broke. Your confidence, your standards, your focus. Get obsessed with your routine. Wake up early, train harder, eat cleaner, learn faster. Cut off anything that slows you down, including her access to you. Make it so she has to climb a mountain just to get a response, and not out of pride, out of principle. Because a man who knows his worth doesn't explain it. He embodies it. He doesn't chase love. He attracts it by becoming undeniable. And the irony, when you stop chasing, when you truly detach, when you become everything she couldn't see, that's when she notices. That's when she starts reaching out. Not because she's changed, but because you have. But by then you won't even want her back. Because you'll realize that the version of you who needed her doesn't exist anymore. You've evolved. And going back would be betrayal to everything you've built. So don't chase. Choose discipline over desire. Choose solitude over inconsistency. Choose standards over settling. That's how you win. Not by convincing her to return, but by becoming the man she never thought you could become without her. And once you become that man, you'll thank her for leaving, because her absence created space for your greatness. And now that you've tasted what it feels like to be fully focused, fully self-owned, fully whole, you'll never chase again. Not her, not anyone. Because the man who stops chasing starts building, and the man who builds never begs. Number 5, when she finally feels it. There comes a moment when the silence she once celebrated becomes unbearable. When the distance she thought gave her leverage turns into isolation, and the detachment she used as power collapses into emptiness. At first, she feels in control. She thinks leaving you untouched, unanswered, unseen will make you crawl back, make you question your value, make you beg for her presence. She thinks your silence is temporary, just another phase she can outlast, because that's what men before you have done. They cracked under pressure. They mistook absence for opportunity to prove themselves. But you didn't. You stayed grounded. You didn't chase. You didn't flinch. You didn't give her the reaction she was fishing for. And that's when her certainty begins to crumble. Because in her mind, she already imagined you losing sleep, overthinking, checking her socials, wondering who she's with, what she's doing if she misses you. But the longer you remain still, the more her fantasy falls apart. Because she's the one refreshing her feed, hoping to see signs of struggle, clues that you're spiraling without her. But instead, she sees progress. She sees consistency. She sees clarity. And now the silence she weaponized turns into confusion, then into fear, and eventually into regret. But she'll never admit it openly. Not yet. She'll test the waters first. A subtle like, a vague message, a random inside joke thrown into your DMs like nothing ever happened. But make no mistake, it's not innocence. It's calculation. It's an attempt to see if you've moved on. She doesn't miss you. She misses who she was when you were still chasing her. She misses the control, the pedestal, the attention. But she doesn't want you. She wants access to who you used to be. And the test now is simple. Have you evolved past her, or are you still that man who waits for breadcrumbs and calls it affection? Because if you reply, if you entertain it, if you fold, you confirm her belief that you'll always be available. But if you don't, if you let her sit in the discomfort she created, that's when she really feels it. That's when it hits her, that you were real, that you were loyal, that you were present in a world addicted to distraction. And she let that go, thinking there was better out there, only to realize too late that what she lost isn't easily replaced. Not because of status, not because of money, but because of your presence, because of how you made her feel safe, because you brought stability into chaos. And now, in your absence, she's forced to confront the void. She's surrounded by people, but none of them see her the way you did. They don't call out her inconsistencies. They don't challenge her to grow. They just enable her, flatter her, feed her ego. But they don't connect, because connection requires effort, and effort is rare. That's when she begins replaying everything. The fights, the conversations, the times you were patient when she was impossible, the loyalty you showed when she was testing you, and she realizes not all men are built like that. Not every man forgives the way you did. Not every man loves without leverage. Not every man stays when it gets inconvenient. And that realization, it breaks her. Quietly, privately, she won't show it. She'll keep up the act. She'll post more, laugh louder, try to make it seem like your absence means nothing. But it's an act, a desperate attempt to distract herself from the truth that she underestimated you, that she overplayed her hand, and now you're gone. Not just physically, emotionally. You're no longer waiting. You're no longer invested. You're no longer available. And the man you've become isn't just different. He's untouchable, because you didn't just move on. You elevated. You turned the pain into purpose. You used her silence as fuel. You stopped needing her validation to feel worthy. And now, even if she wanted to come back, she wouldn't recognize you, because you've changed the locks on every door she used to walk through. You no longer speak her emotional language. You've outgrown her, and she knows it. That's when she really feels it. When she realizes that her return isn't guaranteed, that the access she once had is revoked, that her name doesn't trigger you anymore. And that hurts more than any silence you ever gave her. Because in her mind, you were the safe bet, the fallback, the one she thought would always be there. But now she has to sit with the reality that she made a decision she can't undo, that she created a version of you who thrives without her, that her actions sculpted a man she can no longer reach, and she'll never say it directly. She'll blame timing. She'll blame circumstances. She'll pretend she still cares, just in a different way. But the truth is, she feels it, deeply, daily. Every time she sees your name, hears your voice in a song, scrolls through an old memory. She feels it when she sees other men fall short, when she realizes that settling for someone else was easier than facing the work it would have taken to keep you. And in that space, between realization and regret, she finally understands what she lost. But by then, it's too late. Because now you've built a life so full, so aligned, so powerful, that her return would be a step backward. Not because you're bitter, but because you're better. Because the pain she caused gave birth to a version of you that doesn't need her, that doesn't look back, that doesn't settle for second chances from people who didn't value the first. And that's the most painful truth she'll ever have to live with. That you loved her right, she left anyway, and in losing you, she lost herself. Number 6. Rebuild without her. You don't rebuild for revenge. You don't rebuild so she'll notice. You rebuild because the version of you that tolerated less, begged for breadcrumbs, waited for texts, and held on to someone who let go of you first. That version of you no longer deserves to lead your life. The most powerful shift you will ever make as a man is the moment you stop asking why she changed and start asking why you allowed it. Why you let her silence define your worth. Why you made someone else's absence the center of your world. That's where rebuilding begins, in brutal self-awareness, in full ownership of your role, not in the breakup, but in how long you stayed past the red flags, in how much of your identity you built around her attention. You have to admit it. She became your goal, not your partner. You stopped chasing purpose the moment she started giving you validation. And the truth is, she didn't change. You did. You shifted your focus from building a life to building a pedestal. And now, it's time to shift it back. Not because you're heartbroken, but because heartbreak is the best audit of your values. If your world crumbled when she walked away, it means your foundation wasn't strong enough. It means you were leaning too hard on someone who wasn't built to carry you. And that's not her fault. That's yours. Because no one should be able to break you just by leaving. You want to rebuild? Start there. Accept that you gave too much. Accept that your standards slipped. Accept that you saw the signs and chose to ignore them because comfort felt better than confrontation. Then forgive yourself, not to move on, but to move forward. Every day you wake up is another chance to prove to yourself that you're no longer that man. The man who waits, the man who watches, the man who wonders. You replace that man with action. You start small. You create a morning routine that no one can disrupt. You train your body not for looks, but for discipline. You build your finances not for flash, but for freedom. You cut off any woman who confuses your attention for availability. You stop entertaining low standards, in others and in yourself. You write down your goals, clearly. You break them into steps, daily. And you follow through, relentlessly. Because you are no longer building a life to impress her. You are building a life that would never tolerate her. And here's what happens when you do that. You stop caring about closure. You stop needing explanations. You stop watching who views your stories. You stop flinching when her name comes up. Because you've replaced the chaos with clarity. You've created order in your life that she can no longer shake. You've become someone who no longer bends at the thought of being alone, because you've built solitude into strength. That's what Stoicism is. Not hiding your pain, but mastering it. You learn to breathe through the ache without needing to broadcast it. You learn to move through the day with presence, not resentment. You learn to focus not on what you lost, but on what you're creating. And here's the part that hurts the most. She will come back. Not because she's changed, but because your growth will trigger her curiosity. She'll wonder how you did it. She'll want to know if the door's still open. And when that happens, you'll face your final test. Do you entertain the woman who needed to lose you to see your value? Or do you keep walking because your value was never supposed to be proven through loss? That's when you'll know you've rebuilt. When you no longer feel the need to prove your worth to the person who couldn't see it the first time. When your silence is no longer a tactic, but a lifestyle. When your peace is no longer a pause, but a foundation. When your standards are no longer negotiable because you've become the man who protects his energy the way she protected her ego. Rebuilding without her is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before you started shrinking to keep someone else comfortable. It's about removing the emotional weight she left behind and using it as fuel to create something no one can take from you. And one day when you look in the mirror, you won't see the man who was left. You'll see the man who left behind everything that held him back. And she'll see it too. But by then, you won't care. Not because you've stopped loving, but because you've started leading. Yourself, your life, your purpose. And there's no room for anything that makes you forget that again. If you're tired of being emotionally baited, disrespected and left in the dark, while pretending to be the nice guy society trained you to be, then now is the moment everything changes. The Stoic Relationship Blueprint is not just an ebook. It's your unfiltered roadmap to clarity, power, and peace in a world that profits from your confusion. It's packed with timeless principles that will transform your life immediately. The exact wisdom they never wanted you to have. And now, it's finally available in audiobook format, so you can absorb this life-changing truth while walking, jogging, or rebuilding in silence. Tap the link in the comments, take the knowledge, and never be the same again. Comment, I choose clarity, if you're ready to claim your power. Like this video, subscribe, and share it so more men can escape the traps, avoid years of regret, and finally live with vision. Don't wait. The world is counting on your silence. Prove them wrong.